Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our partner webinar series here at TagoIO. We have a really good webinar for you today. I'm very happy to have Dragino on the call with us. Today, we'll be talking about exploring NB-IoT with Dragino and TagoIO. So it should be a really good webinar. I'm David Hall. I am the Customer Success Manager here at TagoIO, and I also have Edwin Chen, which is the CEO of Dragino. A couple notes. You will see a chat on the left side or the right side of your screen, I believe it will show for you. You can ask questions at any time throughout the webinar, and we'll be sure to address those as they come in. So please make sure you do that. And with that, let's get started. Today, we will be talking about NB-IoT concepts and advantages. We'll be going through some, Edwin will talk about some Dragino devices, about Dragino itself. I'll be speaking about the TagoIO ecosystem and integration. I'll give you a very quick product tour. And then at the end, we'll have Q&A. But as I said, at any time, please feel free to post your questions as well. I will also put my email address in chat. After the webinar, if you want a demo of Tago or if you have questions about Tago and Dragino, feel free to email me if we don't get your question addressed here. Edwin and I work very close together. So if there's any questions or maybe you need some more information, I'll point you in the right direction from the Dragino side so I can get that side answered for you. But with that, let's talk about the TagoIO and Dragino partnership a little bit. I'm very proud of this partnership. As I said, I work very closely with the Dragino team and with Edwin himself. We've been partners since 2018, so quite a long time. We have a complete line of integrated LoRaWAN and NB-IoT devices. One thing to mention right now, we have about 500 overall devices on our platform, not just Dragino, but we're adding devices all the time. But we have a great set of Dragino devices for you to choose from. Dragino and Tago have common customers around the world. I speak to, as a customer success manager, I speak to a lot of different people all around the world, and they're very excited to be using TagoIO and interacting with Dragino as well. Over the years, we've developed hundreds of use cases and applications we've built through the years together. So again, it's just a very strong partnership. So I'm really happy to be doing this webinar today with Dragino. We have a strong ecosystem, expertise from the Tago side to the Dragino side, and we take our support commitment extremely seriously at both companies. That's what makes this partnership really, really strong is our openness, our transparency, our expertise, and our support, quite honestly. If you don't have good support, then obviously that's noticed from around the world. And honestly, Dragino and Tago wouldn't be able to keep the customers that we've had today for years and years and years without great support. So I'm very proud of that. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Edwin. He should pop on camera here in a minute, and he'll speak about Dragino. Hi, Edwin. Thank you.
Hello, thanks, David. Hello, everybody. This is Edwin for Dragino. I'm the founder of Dragino, and first, I would like to introduce some information of our company. And Dragino is set up in Shenzhen, China, and we are mainly doing the manufacturing of the IoT hardware. And we have more than 10 years experience in the manufacture of IoT hardware, and we have deployed selling the products device all over the world. And we are focused in the IoT solution. Two wireless solutions we are using. One is LoRaWAN, and the LoRaWAN we have great success, and together with Tago as well. And as these 2 years, these 3 years, we are seeing the NB-IoT technology is growing very fast over the world. So we introduced this new product lines, and in this webinar, I would like to introduce the NB-IoT advantage and what we are doing together with Tago on the NB-IoT and what device we have for the NB-IoT solution. I hope this can be useful for you. First, I would like to introduce about the Narrowband IoT, NB-IoT. The NB-IoT is actually, we have listed the advantage and disadvantage here. The NB-IoT, the first advantage is that it uses the mobile network, mobile wireless network. Over the world, there are many operators. They already provide the 2G network over the world. Actually, the NB-IoT are built in on top of the 2G solution. The operator, they can modify their 2G base station to support NB-IoT, and this can make them to offer the better scalability, and they can provide quality service because the NB-IoT is used the license band. Actually, it's different from the LoRaWAN. The LoRaWAN is used the ISM band. So everyone can deploy device on the LoRaWAN. This may become problem for a very, very large deployment. But the NB-IoT is working on the license band, so the band quality have more quality of service, and also it is secure because the data are going from the device, from the NB-IoT device to the operator directly and then to the IoT server. Also in the NB-IoT, because they are using the mobile wireless network, so the end user, they don't need to deploy their base station. In LoRaWAN, Wi-Fi, Zigbee, BLE solution, the wireless solution, the customer, the user need to deploy the base station as well. This include the cost and the challenge. But the NB-IoT, they are using the operators base station, so can save the hardware of the installation of the base station. The second advantage of NB-IoT is the longer battery life compared to the traditional 2G GPRS and 4G uplink. And also the NB-IoT, they are using the GSM, the same band as GSM, but they can provide better coverage compared to GSM. And now the NB-IoT, we can see many operators, they beginning to deploy the NB-IoT service. For example, in United States, in Europe, in Asia, we have seen many clients. They are from USA, from North Europe, East Europe, and Australia. Like this country, they already switched the solution, IoT solution, from LoRaWAN to NB-IoT. So this is advantage they can see. And the NB-IoT, they can transmit a longer distance. The range is better than GSM and LTE. Also, the NB-IoT module, the hardware module cost is lower than the LTE module. Also, it has the better penetration of structure and better data rate compared to the unlicensed band, just as such as LoRaWAN. The disadvantage of NB-IoT is that it is designed for the small data transmission, so you cannot transmit for large data. It can be very useful for the small data, like in agriculture, to transmit some sensor data. But if you want to transfer the audio or video data, then it's not good for NB-IoT. And the NB-IoT, the second advantage is it is not suitable for remote control, for the real-time control, because the operator, they have the strict control on the NB-IoT connection time. And also the NB-IoT doesn't support the roaming. So we are going to the next page. In this page, I have do some calculation for the NB-IoT battery life and the cost. For example, if you want to set up an NB-IoT solution, you can see the photo. It is a NB-IoT temperature and humidity sensor. In this sensor, what we need is that we need the sensor, the NB-IoT sensor, and also we need a NB-IoT SIM card. There's a service provider in Europe. They can provide a very low cost SIM card. They provide $50 for 10 years. It totally can include 500 megabyte traffic. Actually, according to the data calculate we are doing as below, we can see that this 500 megabyte traffic is more than enough for 10 years transmission. So this can be considered the total cost for the data plan and the hardware for this NB-IoT. So actually, this cost is compared to many technologies. This cost is not high. Is low. And this is about Dragino. Our company has found since 2018, and we focus on the IoT hardware manufacturing and and we have very good experience on the ODM/OEM service. We have ODM/OEM many products for our clients, and actually we are very open and flexible for discussion. We are very open to provide the source code, the hardware source code, software source code to our clients, so we can work together to find a better solution for our clients. We mainly provide the LoRaWAN end device and the gateway, and also we also provide the NB-IoT end node. For the NB-IoT products that we already have a series of NB-IoT products can meet the clients, the users' requirement for different applications. I would like to introduce here. First, we have some general NB-IoT end node. They have the general interface can interface to different sensors. For example, the sensor can include the 4 to 20 milliamp ADC sensor and ADC input sensor, which is the voltage ADC. Also, we have the sensor can they have the interface to interface the one-wire sensors. Normally, this is the DS1AB20 temperature sensor. It's a very common use. And there are RS485 interface sensor. This can interface many traditional energy meter and some RS485 device. Also, TTL sensor. The TTL sensor can interface to the TTL interface can interface to connect to many TTL sensor. Also, the digital input and interrupt. These are normally used for the meter, like the pulse meter. It can detect the alarm, like the door sensor, and it can connect to the water meter, the flow sensor. They sending the pulse to they output the pulse, so we can use the interrupt to check the pulse, how many pulses to see what is the water flow. Also, we have the SDI12 interface. This mainly used in the agriculture sensor. The second is the general temperature and humidity measurement. We have different kinds of such sensor to measure in the temperature for different range. And for the sensor for the agriculture, we have the sensor to measure the soil moisture, soil EC, soil temperature, also the soil pH, leaf moisture. And for the smart building, smart factory, we have the current sensor which can monitoring the power usage in the office, in the factory building, and the door sensor to detect the open, close, and also the water leak to detect if there is water leakage. Also, we have the sensor for air pressure and liquid pressure. The liquid pressure can be used to measure the water level to see the height of the water or other liquids. Also, we have a series of distance measurement sensor. Like they are using the different technology to measure the distance. For example, the LiDAR is use the laser TOF to detect the distance, and the ultrasonic sensor and the microwave laser sensor. And we are keep releasing different sensor for the different angle with different sensor for different industry fields. So for more information, you can check our website. So next page, I will pass back to David. David will introduce how to connect our sensor to Tago platform. Hi, David.
Thank you, Edmund. Very impressive about the connectivity plan as well as the use cases. And I'll give you guys a live demo, a real quick one, but I'll show you how those use cases tie directly into TagoIO and what you can do. But what you're looking at here, we have, in swim lane number 1, you have the sensors, right? So in the sensors, right, you're tracking all kinds of different things: temperature, humidity, door open, leak detection, things like that. And the connectivity piece is really simple. I'll speak about that as well. But here we're talking about cellular MQTT, right? And how that integrates with TagoIO. It's literally just a couple clicks and your Dragino device is now speaking with TagoIO. It's very simple. Then if you look at swim lane 3 where it says processing, you notice TagoIO at the top and then run at the bottom. TagoIO at the top, that represents the developer platform in TagoIO where you can do all your customizations and those sort of things per your business requirements or needs, right? And then down below, run represents Tago Run. So when you hear me or you read about or you ever hear Tago Run, what we're talking about there is the end user application, right? So you develop everything in this representation. You develop everything up top. Your customers obviously are not going to connect to your developer account. That's for you. And then your Tago Run is where you're going to really customize it on how you want it to look and feel for your end users and how they interact with your awesome product that you just built. And then you have in item 4, you have integrations, right? So obviously for the integrations, it could be an ERP system, SAP, CRM, could be a payment system. I work with a lot of customers that integrate payment systems. And quite honestly, I've been here for years at TagoIO, a little over 3 years. And I haven't found anything that we haven't been able to integrate with as long as we have access to their API and those sort of things, those technical components. So very easy to do as well. And then don't forget, number 5 is your user interaction, as I spoke about. And I'll show you a little bit of that, as I said, in the live demo. When we talk about integration, this is exactly how easy it is. You have 2 options. UDP is coming soon, but soon you will have this second option. But if you look at the top, you have MQTT, as we spoke about briefly, right? So basically on Tago, all you do is you create your device token. It's literally 1 click. Create your device token. Then you take that token and you insert it on the Dragino device. And then there, the connection bridge is done. It's really, really simple. And then you can start building your dashboards and your applications on TagoIO. For UDP that's coming soon, you scan the code, enter a PIN, and then select your dashboard. So both are really simple to use. Right now, obviously, MQTT is used predominantly. In both cases, your Dragino device comes with the NB-IoT plan activation. And the activation plan that Edwin just went over with you, $15 for 10 years. Then he broke down the math, which was really cool. It's really economic for you to use Dragino, right? I mean, to get, you talk about your bang for the buck, that really gets it for you there, right? and they have a bunch of cool products. So if we talk about use cases a little bit, and again, I'm going to show you some of this in real time, but let's focus on just a little bit here on smart agriculture, right? So with the Dragino sensors, you have very reliable sensors. Again, Dragino has been around a long time. They have a great team. Tago's been around a long time. As I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, we both have great support, very transparent, as Edwin was saying. With the code and things like that. So there's a lot of things you can do there, but it's real-time data to feed algorithm to detect pests, temperature controls, all kinds of different things, right? You could track outdoor assets to improve asset utilization. Let's talk about asset utilization real quick, right? It is critical in today's times, right, that you know what is going on, whatever that asset is, right? Maybe it's a greenhouse, right? Whatever that asset is, it's extremely important to know, and it saves you money to know when a temperature is too high, for example, or too low, right? You don't have to manually go in there and check these things as we did in the past. Now, with Dragino and TagoIO, you can get alerts through the dashboard when a threshold is reached, or whatever that is that you're trying to keep a really close monitoring on, right? Because monitoring is what it's all about in today's world. You need to be able to act quickly, right? I already spoke about integration with SAP and ERP and some other applications. But for the devices, you got soil pH, moisture, temperature, heavily used. We have a very large customer base in the agriculture space, and really in all kinds of different sectors and verticals. They all use Tago, and I interact with them all. And it's really interesting as a customer success manager to really see how people are using Tago. I don't want to say surprised, but I am pleasantly surprised, let's say, when a customer shares with me what they're doing. Because here at Tago, security is our number one priority, right? And so, yes, we're ISO 27001 compliant. We have GDPR compliant. We have servers in Europe, so your data can stay there. So we can't see what you guys are building unless you specifically share it with us. And I am blown away all the time of what people are doing on TagoIO. It's very rewarding to be able to help these customers and yourself in really building out your application. You got leaf humidity, temperatures, bins and dwell time, right? Dwell time is extremely important. Not that it's more important than any of these others, but I'm seeing more and more people really focusing on dwell time, right? And you could track farm equipment. So when some people think of agriculture, not everybody, when some people think of agriculture, they're just thinking about, the plants, the greenhouses, those sort of things. But if you really look at it, it takes a lot of equipment to do that, right? So you can track the equipment in real time, where it's at. In TagoIO, you can put a geofence around it, so you know when something comes or leaves, whatever that something is. It could be anything, right? That's how flexible Tago is in that aspect. And if we talk about features and customizations, right? I want to talk about customizations real quick. On TagoIO, I think what sets us apart from everybody else, if you will, is that it's not just about IoT, right? It's beyond IoT with Tago, right? It's data analytics, which I have a slide I'll show you that for that. It's really, you can customize TagoIO in so many different ways, and we have so many features available to you that you can really build it out any way that you want. And as I said, when I'm speaking with customers, I'm always seeing stuff. It's like, that is a great idea. So it's really unlimited of what you can do on TagoIO and with the Dragino devices. What you're seeing here, you're seeing three distinctly different dashboards, right? The one on the left, we have line charts, and we're tracking humidity and temperature. The one in the middle is a little different, but we have a map, right? So all customizations, very easy to do. And then, on the right, we're tracking an asset that's indoors and outdoors. Could be a truck, farm equipment, whatever it is, right? A pallet. We're tracking things in real time. And as I mentioned earlier, you can have alerts for just about anything you want, right? Where things are moving, temperature, humidity, door open, door closed, leak, whatever you would like. I work a lot in the leak detection area as well. Here in the US, I do see a lot of that. In the UK as well, especially with the smart cities that I work with in the UK and really all over the world. But it's just really vast of the customizations that you can do with TagoIO. If you could think of it, you could probably build it on TagoIO, quite honestly. And if we talk about custom analytics, right, this is where we really go above. I guess beyond is the correct word for IoT. It's not just about visualization, right? There's much more to it than that, right? And with TagoIO, you can get that data from the Dragino devices, and you can really dig into that data with your advanced analytics, right? What does that data really mean? Early on in my career, a developer told me data doesn't lie, and that is true to this day. Data doesn't lie, and there's a lot you can do with the data, whether that's planning, what you're going to do in the future, looking back at the past, all kinds of different things, right, that you can do with data. I personally find data extremely interesting, right? I mine data all the time, if you will, to see how things are working, where we're going, and things like that, and how we can improve. Now, I spoke about Tago Run, right? So Tago Run is where you can really build out your application for your end user's experience. One of those experiences is the Tago Run mobile app, right? So you could download the mobile app today, right? Open up your Tago free account, right? Then once you start customizing Tago Run, you don't necessarily have to have your own mobile app. We do build custom mobile apps with white label, remove all instances of Tago, so it's just your company, your brand. We do that all the time, actually, for our customers. But if you just download the Tago Run app and you go into your Tago developer account and you can modify the Tago Run, how it looks, how it feels. You can have a video in the background when somebody first accesses your site. They haven't signed in yet, but they can see a cool video with your brand, your logo. But let's say you're not using white label at all, right? Which is a lot of our customers don't use white label, and that's fine. But you could change the URL, the first part of it. It's always going to say tago.run at the end of the URL, but you could change that URL to your company name. You could see in the middle image, you could actually put your logo up there. You could have a favicon for the browser. There's lots of different things you can do with Tago Run to customize it without having a custom mobile app, right? A lot of stuff you can do there. And then again, on the far right, what you're seeing there is that's where from the mobile app, they're really digging in and seeing, okay, where in this particular case, where are my assets? What's going on with that asset in real time? Instead of digging it all the way into the dashboard, they just, hovered over or probably pressed, one of the icons there, the asset icons, and it'll pop up to whatever you want it to be. It could be a picture of that asset, the attributes, meaning temperature, humidity, location, whatever it is, right? So Tago Run is really cool to use, and just download the Tago app and you're good to go. Right? You can do that with the free account today. Now let's do a live demo here real quick. I want to show you a couple things. Let me share my screen. So if we go back to some of, this is going to be progressive. And what I mean by that, by this particular dashboard, this is one of Edwin's dashboards that he built. Again, a couple clicks and he was done. Probably took him 15, 20 minutes in all. And that's from integrating the device with Tago to have something to display, right? Really simple to use. But what you're seeing here, we have pH, we have battery, soil temperature, signal, leaf temperature, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different things that you can do just in one view on TagoIO, right? And you're noticing that it says Tago Run on the top left, and it says Edwin Chen's app. Again, you can change that. You could, it's going to say Tago Run in the URL, but you could put your own image up here for your company logo or whatever you want, and you can have multiple dashboards in here. It's not just one for the end user. So what you're looking at now is the end user application. But remember what I said about how customizable Tago is. So keep in mind what you're looking at here. It's very effective, right? It's clean, it's crisp. It gives you the data in exactly the format that you may want, right? But Tago is very customizable. So what I've done is, based off of the Dragino devices here, I looked at this and I said, okay, well, again, I am in Tago Run. It's just a different, I customized this a little bit more. And really what you're looking at here is Kickstarter, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But what you're looking at here is I have a agriculture dashboard, right? I have silos that I can easily see the level, the humidity, excuse me, and those sort of things for each silo. I can have alerts. If the level gets too low, send me an alert. So when you're looking at just about all these widgets, right, we have temperature, humidity, and different aspects for each silo. We have leaf temperature, soil pH, irrigation status, crop growth, level history, excuse me. All that obviously is very doable on Tago, right? And then you have your logs up at the top. So really, as I keep saying, Tago Run is very customizable. And think of this. If you were to build out your Tago Run and you have customers, some of your customers are in the field and they have the Tago app, right? They could log into your Tago Run, your end user application. They could be in the field and come in here and say, okay, I need to add a sensor, right? So they don't need to contact you as the developer unless you choose, right? Of course. And then you can really make it really simple for them to add a sensor, right? And so Kickstarter, as I said, this is Kickstarter. You do need at least a starter account. Again, very cheap. It's only $49 a month. There's no commitment to it. You can downgrade at any time. But you can download, and I'll show you where to do this on our site. You could download Kickstarter and just start modifying it the way you want. Think of it as the foundation, right, of your end user application. And you can see here, I have different dashboards. So I talked about smart agriculture, but let's say I give my URL to a customer of mine that is in agriculture, but then I have another one that is in cold chain, right? So based off of permissions and tags, the customers are not going to see each other's dashboards, right? Only you can. So I'm a super user, right? So that's why I can see everything, and that's why I'm showing you everything. But for these different verticals, you can really customize these. And as I said, based off of permissions, you can do lots of different things with permissions, but they would only see what you allow them to see. Maybe you don't want somebody adding sensors. Maybe they can just view, right, and receive alerts, right? This application, Tago in general, is perfect for that. But I really like Kickstarter of what we have done here. And we talked about leak detection. So in here, yeah, I have one dashboard, but look at all these different tabs I have, right? So there's lots of different things that you can do in the Tago. Again, here, I have lots of different tabs for different things, right? And maybe let's take it a step, let's get a little more granular. Maybe I have somebody that only needs to see the living room and somebody that only needs to see security, right? Then they would only see that tab if that's how you choose to build out TagoIO, right? Now let's talk about how you can get started, right? So this is just the basics. Again, I can go into much more detail if you guys want a demo from me. You have my email address, or you can just go right to our site and say request a demo, right? But there's a couple. So there's a couple things I want to show you that's really going to help you get going on TagoIO with your Dragino devices, right? So one thing is you can obviously take a tour to get familiar if you're not already with Tago. But if I go into resources, Tago is very big on self-help, by the way. We have a community that is monitored all the time by not just the support team, but also lead developers within TagoIO, right? But we have how-to videos. I'll show you a little bit of that. Obviously, we have our webinars, right? But we have how-to videos on how you can start building templates, how to add variables, so on and so forth, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do on TagoIO that don't cost you a dime, right? You can just do it. If I go back into resources, and if I go to the developers page, there's three distinct things I want to show you here that are really going to help you get started, right? This is the Kickstarter application I showed you. Again, it's just a foundation. You can build it out any way that you want, right? Need a little bit of development experience, a little bit of JavaScript, but I don't have a lot of that, quite honestly, and I was able to do it very easily, right? And then you can get a demo of it, and it kind of talks a little more about it in here, right, of what you can do. So very strong. Kickstarter's been out, I think, a little over a year now, and it's used heavily. But again, you do need a starter account for that. So if I just go back real quick, now these you can download with a free account, but we have these templates. So think of it as a step below the Kickstarter application, right? You have all these templates that you can download for free. You just click on one. So you get template. It's going to open up your admin account, and then you just say install template. If you don't have a device, by the way, you could just use a simulated device. No problem. No problem at all. But then you would download it, and then it would just be in your Tago developer account. Another really cool thing, besides just the templates, let me go back. We talk about this. Oh, by the way, our release notes are public, obviously, and you could also look at our roadmap online. But with that, you can take our learning center. So this is very valuable. Yes, the how-to videos are very effective and help tremendously in what you're doing when you're trying to learn Tago and those sort of things. But there's 30 courses. There's 2 tracks. So let me actually go into it. There's 2 tracks. There's the 100 track. So when you think of the 100 track, think about that as Tago fundamentals. And these are in chronological order, meaning I can't have a dashboard unless I have devices in most cases. Yes, you could use a simulator, as I said, and then you really need to understand files and actions, and analysis, and so on and so on. So the 100 modules are the fundamentals. The 200 modules are really, I like to say that it's more for developers, but you don't have to be a true developer to take these. You just need to know a little bit of JavaScript. It's very easy to learn, actually. So you can take these courses to really become a Tago expert. And we do have a developer program as well, right? Maybe you want to develop an application for somebody else, right? Or maybe you want us to refer somebody to you where your expertise lies. That you would need to take the certificate at each end of these and then just contact us through the website or email me. No problem at all. But this is very powerful as well for that. So, and then if we go back a little bit, here is where you're going to really see device management. So there's a lot of things on our website that is very valuable to you, right? And then obviously we have our help center that you can use. Another cool feature I like to show, if you are in your developer account, as I am now, this is a new feature. As I said, we're adding features all the time. If I click on the question mark, I can say ask documentation. And I could say, MQTT. And it's going to come back with all things MQTT that's related to Tago. So don't forget that. People use this in coding all the time on Tago. Maybe they need to know how to create analysis to trigger an alert for temperature, right? You can do that as well on here. Not a problem. So that's just really quick, a couple things to help you get started. And as I said, I'd be glad to give you a demo if you contact me. Not a problem at all there. And then just go to this last slide here, how to get started. I've kind of already showed you that, right? You can create an account. You can browse and choose the dashboard templates as I've shown you. You can download and install Kickstarter as well. Let's see. It looks like, Edwin has already answered the questions here. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to see if we had any other questions, but it doesn't look like it. But again, as I said, before we wrap up, feel free to email me. As we started this webinar, we spoke about how strong the Dragino and TagoIO partnership is. We've been working together for years, right? So we have a very strong partnership. So if you have any questions about Dragino, feel free to either go to their site, email me, I'll get you in contact with them. And if you have any questions about TagoIO, feel free to email me about that, and I'll be glad to do that as well. So I really enjoyed our partner webinar today with Edwin and him showing how easy it is to really start utilizing their devices. So I highly recommend Dragino to everybody. And again, TagoIO, you can really start building out things. Let's see, there is a question here. If you want to join back, Edwin, feel free. But according to the estimate obtained from battery life calculator on Dragino devices, does MQTT protocol consume 5 times more battery than UDP protocol? There you go. There's your answer. So basically for everybody else, it says, yes, MQTT normally consumes more power versus UDP. And as I said, UDP is coming. So hold on for that. I'll give it just one more minute here to see if anybody else has any questions for us, but I believe that was probably the last one. Let's just take a brief minute here and see. Okay, I think that does it for today. So I really hope I get to talk to you guys. I tell people all the time, take advantage of the Customer Success Manager. To me, it doesn't matter if you have a free account or if you're paying $49 a month. I'm going to treat you the same as everybody else. I'm very transparent, very open. We also have a CSM, my partner, Tiago, up in Brazil that covers that portion. So TagoIO is really covers the entire world. But with that, I'm going to call it a day. Please like us on LinkedIn, follow Dragino, follow TagoIO to get the latest and greatest news. But with that, thank you, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next webinar. Bye-bye.